Hey, my name is Jacob, and welcome back to another episode of Under the Fig Tree FM. This is a channel where I discuss the strategies, techniques, and things I learned from different ventures in my life. And the venture at hand is it's my first year as an assistant coach at a D3 wrestling program, so I discuss the lessons I learned from that venture. And today's episode is going to be about the lessons I learned from the past dual meet. So before I talk about the lesson I learned from this past week, let me first give a brief reminder of what we've been doing in our training. So before every practice, we've been implementing the elbow pass, which is not only good for getting good at the movement of elbow passing, but also to get good at the fundamentals of neutral wrestling, which is to get the angle first and then close the distance. And this just has to do with every move you would do in neutral. So I'm starting to see the guys get freer on their feet, better at getting the angle. So I am starting to see the benefits of us doing that every single day in practice. The next thing we've been doing is the morning workouts. So it's circuit type training. We also tailor it to, depending on what day our match is on, of how it could benefit our guys. So obviously the day before a match, we're not going to do the circuit training of a lot of reps trying to get sore and stuff. We would do really heavy weights for about 3 sets, and all this is going to do is not really going to get you stronger, but it is going to boost testosterone before the match. So this is something that we do in our training before a match, that they're going to get the benefits from doing that. I do wish more people would show up to these morning workouts. We do have a solid group, but obviously more people could be showing up, so we got to get them to buy in more. And hopefully they'll see the fruits of the people that have been going, and hopefully they'll start buying into it and they'll start going. So now it's time to talk about what happened this last dual meet. So we went away and we lost, I believe, 35-15. So pretty convincing win on their end. And what they were good at was they were good on top position. So they were good with the hazard tilt. And what we were failing to do was to do the things we went over, which the same way you would defend a Blair ride is the same way you would defend a hazard tilt, which is to keep your hands in front of you. And you got to be able to time things right. So when it is time to move up and get out, you got to be able to feel that. That's when you can put your hands down and post and explode out, basically. And also when they grab your wrist, they're great at the hazard tilt. You'll be able to break it off with your elbow. That's some other thing we went over. And maybe they were just that strong. So a lot of our guys need to start coming or being more consistent with working out in the morning time. In college, strength does matter quite a bit. So if you're just not strong enough to defend a hazard tilt, that is what it is as well. But that was an issue for us. Another issue we had was one of our stars was sick. So he had a pretty solid guy to wrestle, and he did lose that match. And I believe if he was healthy, he would have been able to beat him, but he needed to be healthy to do well in that match. He was pretty sick. I do respect him for showing up, though, and stepping on that mat when he was sick. Another thing, or the lesson of the day, was, so our lightweight, they wrestle first, and he sets everything off. He did end up winning his match, but after he won, he over-celebrated. He got pretty obnoxious, over-celebrating. He beat that guy pretty convincingly too, but he got super excited. And since we were away, I think that made the crowd feel some type of way. And after that win, the crowd got super obnoxious. And since it was the first match, I don't know if they would have been that obnoxious anyway, but they were definitely obnoxious. And they had the cheerleaders too, so it was just a whole lot of, it was super annoying. There's nothing you could do about it, but I'm saying that I think we got to be able to, or him in particular, control our emotions a little better and just be more grounded, more humble. There's no real reason to get that overly excited after winning. You never see someone like Cael Sanderson getting that excited after he wins. It's just something you're supposed to be doing, right? So we just got to be more grounded because, that's annoying for everybody else. I know you won your match, but everybody else has to deal with that crowd. That's pretty annoying. So let's just stay grounded. That's kind of the lesson that I took out of this dual meet moving forward. Let's try to stay disciplined, grounded, and that's kind of what I want to see. But we had a couple wins sprinkled in there. Our heavyweight also won, so it's always nice to see when you have a heavyweight that wins over a crowd who's obnoxious because you shut them out or shut them up, and you don't want to give them the last laugh. So that's what I was seeing too. I guess another small lesson I learned too was we did do exhibitions after that as well. And I think we got to be able to schedule the better person to wrestle last in those exhibitions because, like I said, you want the last laugh or not them to get over, loud after a win or a loss. So if we could schedule the better guy at the very end just to shut the crowd up, that would be cool too. So that's just, something I just thought of. But those are the lessons I learned from the day. Nothing too crazy, but it does go with the saying of you got to be respectful on the mat and off the mat, or be a good person on and off the mat. So it goes with that omen right there. So it's just something I have to communicate with the team, and hopefully you do better with it. Well, that's it for this episode of Under the Fig Tree FM. It was a short one, but I hope you got value out of it. And I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated on things I'm learning from different ventures in my life. Bye for now, and by the grace of God, do your job. Thank you. Bye-bye.